Kia ora. In the news today, the government says it's a fantasy to suggest state-owned enterprises up for part privatisation will start stripping their assets. Legislation has been introduced today to support the government's mixed ownership programme, and it's been confirmed that Mighty River Power will be the first to have shares sold off. State-owned Enterprises Minister Tony Ryle is shrugging off concerns we'll see key assets such as dams carved off in the interest of profit.
I think that's really just a fantasy. The fact is these companies are in the business of retailing energy, and so it's within their interests to make sure they've got high-functioning energy assets.
The legislation will require the Crown to hold at least 51% of the voting shareholding and restricts other shareholders from holding more than 10% of the voting rights. Defence lawyers are now facing a tough ask to get their clients' name suppression. New rules come into force today from the Criminal Procedure Act 2011, some of them designed to make it harder for offenders to get name suppression, particularly celebrities. Previously, defendants could be granted name suppression if publication of their name would result in undue hardship to them or to others. But Auckland University's Professor Bill Hodge says now the bar is being lifted to extreme hardship.
The effect will be the judge, knowing this parliamentary history, will say to the council, you're making a case for inconvenience, you're making a case for unpleasantness, you've got to go a lot further. You've got to go to extreme measures, and I haven't heard that yet.
Relatives wanting to join families in New Zealand look set to need to have thousands of dollars to back up their immigration applications. The government's confirmed that it intends changing the obligations around parent, children and sibling categories to reduce the chance of applicants ending up in the welfare system. Immigration Minister Nathan Guy says sponsorship amounts aren't finalised yet, but he says it will be in the range of $30,000. The United States government has filed papers to have Kim.com extradited. It had 45 days from when the Mega Upload founder was arrested in January to file the papers, and they were filed this afternoon in the North Shore District Court. Preliminary results from Russia's presidential election are resoundingly in Vladimir Putin's favour. It puts him on track to win back the presidency 4 years after term limits forced him out. Mr. Putin will now be in command until 2018, and all his pre-election promises, he says, will be fulfilled. Wellington Police are talking to the family of a boy responsible for an unusual early morning call-out. At 5 this morning, police received reports of an erratic driver on the terrace, but when they arrived, they found an 8-year-old boy behind the wheel. Inspector Paris Razos says the minor cannot be legally liable because of his age, but talks with his family will make sure he has some consequences and takes responsibility for his actions. Kiwis are leaving the country in droves to live in Australia. In the year ending January, more than 38,000 people left to live across the ditch. That's the highest migration ever recorded. But while we're leaving, others are arriving, nearly 5,500 from the UK and just under 5,000 from India and China. It's 12 months today until the next census. The last scheduled census was set down for March last year, but it was called off following the February earthquake. And that's all from me for now. Do join us again soon. Ka kite anō.